Did you have a favourite dish while you were at Purnell?
Nah, so my favourite part of Purnell's was, I had a really good time there actually, and I think I was very lucky to like work with the chefs that I worked with. So like, I worked with Phil on the larder, and then Sam came on the larder. So Sam and Phil are the sous chefs now at Purnell. So I got to work with both of them, which I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
But Sam, he's a lot more stern than Phil. Not in a like or with a fuck up, but more like you have to earn his respect. He just won't talk to you in the morning. Like there was mornings when we first started, we just didn't talk to each other, just did our jobs. But then we got on really well in the end, and we used to have like races on a Saturday. He'd always win because honestly, I've never met a chef like him. He's so good. He would always win, but he's always like really competitive. So on Saturdays we used to have like races to who could get the prep done first and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then so basically when I was at Purnell's, I maybe got friends with the right people. So Dave left after maybe a year I was at Purnell's. So then Phil and Sam was the sous chefs, but I'd already worked with Phil. And I was working with Sam at the time. So, they're two good people to make friends with in that kitchen. And then I got to go on a pastry with Luke. And that was so good, man. Like I remember thinking that I never wanted to do pastry. Shit.
Why does pastry get such a bad rep? Like you hear all chefs say,
you know what it is? It's because you can't wing it. So if the recipe's not right and you haven't done it right, then you haven't done it right. It's nothing to do with anything else. With any other section, you can get away with maybe not putting as much sugar in or salt or in service. You can get away. Pastry you can't. It has to be perfect or it's not right.
Did you find that pastry even harder with dyslexia as well? So I can imagine that's all exact measurements and a lot of stuff's wrote down, and I can imagine it's a lot more precise than a lot of stuff.
Yeah, luckily Luke is very organised in a sense of that, he had like this I don't know how to explain. It's like a plastic wallet, but hard plastic.
Sealy bag.
No, yeah. A hard plastic wallet with letters in it. And all the recipes would be behind that letter. So if it was bread, it would be behind B. You know what I mean? So it went like that. And all his recipes were perfect. And, you would just have to follow. That gave me the confidence, actually. Because being on pastry, you just have to follow. That's the first time I really ever followed recipes that I could just look at. And then I realised that, it's only food. So, it's if you're making the bread, it's only going to say flour, sugar, salt, yeast, water, oil. They're basic things you can look at. Do you know what I mean? It's when it starts saying bicarbonate soda when I struggle. So, which it did on some of the recipes. But when you've worked in kitchens, then you grasp what them words are. Do you know what I mean? It's like starting school, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what pony is because you see a pony. It's just the way they work. So I never really struggled with it. I struggled with getting it right and asking Luke for help, really, which was I should have probably asked him for more help on certain things, but I was really confident at that time. So after being on the pastry for 3 months, I was the most confident I've ever been as a chef because I just worked with Phil and he thought I was all right. Then I just worked with Sam and he thought I was all right. Now I'm working with Luke and he thinks I'm all right, so I must be doing something right. So I was a bit not cocky, but I was sure of myself that I can make the bread as good as Luke, not to the same speed, but I can still get that recipe as perfect as Luke, and that bread's still going to taste the same when that comes out of the oven as Luke's would be. So I was all right when I went on the pastry, and I enjoyed it more than any other section. Weirdly, yeah.
Before I interrupted you about pastry chefs and why people hate doing pastry, you were just about to say what your favourite dish from Purnell's was?
My favourite dish at the time at Purnell's didn't go on the menu, Luke, eventually got a room in the back where it was temper chocolate and he just create new dishes. He's got it now, I think, I'm not sure. But, it's just his development kitchen in there. And he made a cream egg, man. And I remember seeing it and it tasted better than a cream egg, but looked exactly the same. And I just said to him, I don't know how you've done that, but I really want to know. And I never actually know how he did it. But yeah, but my favourite dish on the pastry side is the bread, because I genuinely don't think that there's better bread in the country than that bread. No, I don't. And I've had it at a lot of places. Yeah, you had the bread at the start.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
The black treacle. But he might have changed now. But oh really? It's probably changed.
It's a shame the egg didn't go on the menu, because obviously he's got the iconic burnt
it was
egg
actually
custard.
to replace the egg custard, yeah. But you can't replace that egg custard.